Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh.
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny. What is it about making pot roast that makes you feel like an adult? I mean, am I right?
You're right, Trevin. You're totally right.
We started crock-potting pot roast lately, and there's just something about it. It's like, am I a parent now? Like, what happened to me? I just feel aged by doing it.
Oh my God, that was one of the first dishes I started learning after college because they were so easy. Heats it up all on its own. You put this in, you put that in, you put a little this and that in.
I don't know that one.
I love cooking with the crock pot. Oh my God, you've just started doing this?
No, I used the crock pot.
Oh, okay.
It's just making pot roast.
So what were you making in your crock pot before that?
Like slow cooked chicken and pulled pork type stuff. But like I'm talking about straight up pot roast, vegetables, potatoes. Yeah.
That's the first thing I learned to make in my crock pot. I guess that's why I'm like, what?
Ugh, it just makes me think of my parents so much.
I love a pot roast veggie. Oh my God. So that was just the intro. I don't even think you said I'm Trevin and I'm Amanda.
Yeah, I am Trevin.
Trevin, what is your dreadful dilemma this week?
Okay. Sometimes I like to check in and talk about the state of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we as Americans failed to follow up Barbenheimer with what should have been the best double feature ever. It was the sequel to Barbenheimer.
What was it?
They didn't come out the exact same day, but one of them was on limited release, and then it didn't hit like the mainstream theaters until a little bit later, and they basically came out at the same time.
Oh.
But the sequel of Barbenheimer should have been Poor Claw or The Iron Things. Basically, the movie Poor Things came out.
Okay.
And The Iron Claw both came out.
Okay, I know nothing about either of these, so.
One is a very masculine movie.
Okay.
And about like man troubles.
Okay.
It's way more than that. Don't let me. I'm not minimizing the movie.
Okay.
But I'm just generalizing for this here. And then the other one has a very strong feminist message and is very quirky and interesting. They're both very artsy. And they just would have made a very perfect double feature that I think would have been very similar to what Barbenheimer was. But anyway, I saw both these movies. I absolutely love them.
Okay.
Poor Things with Emma Stone ended up being a really cool like feminist story that's like metaphor for kind of how women kind of find themselves through the men that they are with.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm not even touching a quarter of what that movie's trying to say.
Yeah.
And The Iron Claw is a wrestling movie with Zac Efron. You've probably seen trailers and stuff of it.
Oh my God. How have I not seen a trailer? You know, I love me some Zac Efron.
He's humongous. Like he's built like a WWE wrestler.
What in the actual hell? Okay, I have to look at this trailer now.
That movie just came out. Very masculine movie, very artsy, about a wrestling family. And it's more of a family drama than it is a wrestling movie, really. And it's based on a true story. Very powerful and heavy movie. And I just think both of those were such a great way to have closed out the year. Technically, I didn't catch Iron Claw until the beginning of this year, but still, they were just two good movies. And by the time this episode comes out, probably on streaming maybe or close to it. And I recommend both.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it here. I always trust your opinion when it comes to movies. I feel like you have a very good eye for what a movie, might need to be successful, I would say.
If you don't like really surrealist and weird stuff, you might not like Poor Things because it's really out there, but the core metaphor is really good.
Yeah, I'm totally good with that kind of thing.
If my parents watched it, they would be like, what did I just watch?
It's not for everyone, probably. No. But yeah, what a missed opportunity. That does sound like a really interesting combination.
Yeah, and kind of very similar to Barbenheimer.
Wow, that's a really good one. I need to check both of those out. I need to see a gigantic Zac Efron.
Oh, he's big.
I also have a dreadful dilemma, and it has to do with an iconic video as well, I guess, technically. So kind of similar to yours, but a little different because mine is a YouTube video. And it is one that my oldest daughter recently showed my youngest daughter. She's, a year and a half-ish right now. And let's just say that since she's seen it, it has basically taken over her entire life.
Winnie's life?
Yes.
Okay.
Were you about to guess what video it is, or do you have any idea?
Chocolate Rain?
Oh my God. Baby Shark.
Oh.
You were so far off.
I just figured that Winnie had already known.
Oh my God. So Winnie has seen Baby Shark now, okay? The iconic pink fong video that all parents know and hate and love, maybe a little bit. It's gotten to a point, Trevin, where it's the first thing she says when she wakes up. I struggled when I said says because I'm like, it's the first thing she says. It's the first thing she sings when she wakes up. It's what she sings during lunchtime, bath time. She sings it during nap time when we're trying to lay her down. And then the worst of them all is bedtime. You think that you've got the girl asleep. She's had her milk. She's had her songs. She's had her rock. She's drifting off. And then out of nowhere, Trevin, I hear, da da do do do, mama do do do, and I'm like, no, no, not
I thought
again.
you were asleep.
I actually have an audio recorded of her that I can show you after this. It's really cute, but it was frustrating timing because it was in the middle of the night when I was trying to put her to sleep, and she wouldn't stop singing Baby Shark.
Dang. I'm sure there's probably like a really soft acoustic version by like a person with a really beautiful voice. So maybe you could find a slow version of it and like lullaby it out.
Oh my God.
If that doesn't exist, I'll try to corner the market, but I'm sure once we finish this episode, we'll find one.
I need a lullaby Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Drift her ass right to sleep.
And maybe she'll accept that at nighttime.
Oh my God. It's worth a shot at this point.
Hey.
So we are going to be telling you all some killer facts this week.
Hello?
We've traced the facts. They're coming from inside the house.
Killer facts.
Oh, we are. And it is my week to go first. And I want to tell you about Tai Jin, the Kung-Fu Werewolf.
Oh my God. Tell me more.
I imagine you've not heard of Tai Jin.
No, I am not familiar.
I had not either. So I'm coming from humanmarvels.com.
Ooh, yes.
Which I've never used for a story in here before, but this website is good.
It sounds like a good one. That's why I'm excited.
So Tai Jin was born in China in 1849. He was born unique, afflicted with hypertrichosis. So if you're not aware of what hypertrichosis is, a simple Google search comes up with hypertrichosis is defined as excessive hair growth anywhere on the body in either males or females. So a lot of people who have that are some of the people who have the face hair that's very long.
Yes. Oh God, what would they call them in the freak shows?
They would call them like the dog face boy.
Yes. So cruel.
Later on, there was a very famous person named Jojo that was known as was a very famous dog face boy, I guess.
Yeah.
Who suffered from that.
Damn.
So for Tai Jin, his parents thought that this was like the work of demons.
Oh no.
And so they left him in a forest to die.
Oh my God.
But a Shaolin monk traveling through the forest discovered the child and took him back to the Fujian Shaolin temple. There Tai Jin was raised by the monks. He was trained in martial arts, and it quickly became apparent that he was exceptional in both appearance and ability. He quickly became a favorite among the Shaolin masters, and a bunch of them taught them everything that they knew.
Oh my God. And sorry, when did you say that this was again?
Well, he was born in 1849, so it would have probably been like 1860.
To give the parents maybe unnecessary grace, I don't know. Maybe back then it wasn't like a very well-known thing, and maybe it is more of a culture thing that they were like, this is the work of the demons, but my God.
Yeah, it could be a thing that maybe they've never heard of it at all, ever.
Right. It would probably be a startle if it's something you've never heard of, but that's so cruel, and I'm so glad that the monks found the baby.
Yes. So it says here that he was a sponge and mastered every technique shown to him. He became the first to master over 200 different empty hand systems and over 140 weapon systems. His various specialties included the infamous Chi Ma, or death touch. After several years of extensive training, he became the first Grand Master of Shaolin Do and one of the first to master all skills of the 7 Shaolin temples.
Holy hell!
He became known as Su Kong Tai Jin. Su Kong simply means Grand Master.
Oh my God, can I see a photo of this guy, please?
So this is the picture I have.
Oh my gosh. He has very wise eyes.
Yeah, they do say at the end of this article that they do believe some of his legend could be embellished over time, but they do say that, you know, he was really a real person. It says he lived on for many years and he passed away in 1928 after reaching a ripe old age, but they didn't say the number, but I'm sure we could do the math there. And they said he was known for being a teacher to others after that, too.
Oh my God. What a beautiful story. I mean, sad start, but it sounds like he really made the most out of his abilities and his teachers really believed in him. That's so cute.
Yeah, and I don't really know where the nickname... I mean, I understand the Kung-Fu Werewolf, but I think there's a thing somewhere that says hypertrichosis was also known as like werewolf syndrome or something.
Oh.
So I think that's why they would call him the Kung-Fu Werewolf.
Well, and also, you know, like we were saying about the freak show, they used to say the dog-faced boy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People usually just associate a lot of hair with an animal because people don't usually have that much hair all over.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a legacy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I also have a killer fact. It ties in a tiny bit to my dreadful dilemma about baby shark.
Ooh, babies?
But this is about a real non-cartoon shark, and I'm going to tell you about the oldest ever shark attack victim discovered, dating back 3,000 years.
Whoa.
I got this article from CNN.com, and I do want to show you, these are the bones that were recovered from it.
Oh, wow.
So, bones from an adult male were excavated from the Tacoma site near Japan's Sato Inland Sea. Researchers have discovered what they say is the earliest direct evidence of a shark attack on a human. The remains of the man, they said, had some 790 injuries, and these injuries were very specific, and they knew it had to be from a large animal because of the shape of them and the size of them and how deep that they went. I mean, they're able to see it in the bones.
Right.
So it had to be a deep cut.
Yeah, really. Yikes.
Like I said, these remains were from 3,000 years ago. Experts from the University of Oxford made the discovery while examining the remains of the adult. He had injuries to his arms, legs, front of his chest, and abdomen. Two of the researchers, Alyssa White and Rick Schulting, they provided a joint statement, so I just want to read this part of it. Through a process of elimination, we ruled out human conflict and more commonly reported animal predators or scavengers. Basically, what they discovered was that the shark species most likely responsible for the attack was either a tiger or a white shark. So tiger shark or white shark.
Mm-hmm.
They also said there are very few known examples of shark attacks in the archaeological record. The main reason that so few cases are known is simply because they were so rare. Even today, with so many people in the world, only a handful of lethal shark attacks occur. So basically, it's the oldest reported shark attack of all time just because of how old these sites that they were digging in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found that to be really cool. They can only assume how this guy was attacked or what kind of shark because it is just bones. But what they assume is that he was out fishing. It's like a common fishing spot, I guess. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they just now found his bones this many years later.
That's crazy to think about with how you said there weren't a lot recorded because they were just so rare. I guess I never really thought that much about that. If, you know, the populations are smaller and word gets out less. they would exist the whole time and maybe people wouldn't even really know that much about them.
Right. And think about this guy's story, right? 3,000 years ago. I mean, he had to have had loved ones of some type, and no one knew what happened to him this whole time. And then he gets found by researchers? What a wild, wild story.
Yeah, and back then they probably just thought it was a monster or something.
Right.
Weak.
I just found it cool because the remains were so old and they had just never seen a shark attack go back that far before. And it tied in with Baby Shark, damn it. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Hell yeah, Connection City.
You know what else I'm trying to do, though?
You trying to get on some ads?
You know it. And we are back. It is Trevin's week to go first with his story, but I'm going to interrupt him for just a brief moment.
What the?
I would love to share a very, very sweet message that we got sent from one of our listeners. Trevin sent it over to me whenever he saw it, and my God, it really just made me have the biggest smile on my face, and it really motivated me.
Yeah, I had to send it to Emily too.
Did you?
I was like, see, we are out here making a difference.
I showed it to Jordan too. I was like, read this. Someone loves us.
And then he blocked you.
No, he actually thought that this was really, really cool.
Nice.
So let me read this. It is from our listener named Rachel, and this is what they had to say. Hi, Trevin and Amanda. If you've ever wondered whether your fan base includes single moms in their 40s, I'm happy to say the answer is a resounding yes. Since discovering your podcast about a month ago, I've binged you guys with reckless abandon. As a veterinarian and a mom, I absolutely adore the mix of pet stories from you both, parenting anecdotes from Amanda, and of course, the petty crime stories that are endlessly entertaining. This is kinda morbid, but I actually help pets pass on in their homes, which, as you can imagine, gets pretty heavy at times. And your podcast hits just the right notes to get me through those tough days driving from pet to pet. So thank you. You guys are awesome. I'll be a fan for life. Please keep doing what you're doing. Rachel.
First, thank you so much, Rachel.
Oh my God. A resounding thank you,
Yes.
Rachel. I'm so honored that we have a single mother in her 40s that helps pets pass like in a sweet, safe environment. You sound like an amazing human being.
Yes, I already love my single mother crowd, and then the job itself too. Whoa.
I know. We need more people like you, Rachel. I mean, my God.
I wouldn't survive that job, I don't think.
It would be
hard.
trying on the heartstrings, guaranteed. I loved that message for so many reasons. I'm glad that we have listeners that are like Rachel, that have jobs like that are out there doing their thing, being a working mom, and just the things that they had to say. Just, I don't know. It just really touched my heart. So thank you so much, Rachel.
But yeah, thanks for passing the kindness on back to us because that felt really good.
Yeah. So we are on to stories, and hopefully, Rachel, and to everyone else listening, we can give you guys some good stories to laugh at.
I have a feeling this one will be good.
Ooh, okay.
So I had a different story written for this week.
You did?
I did. And then a very big viral story had hit. As you and I are sitting here talking, this is probably the fourth day it's been like really big.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you hadn't heard of it. So I thought I should bump this thing to the front of the list.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
So I will tell you ahead of time, we may need your help with this one.
Oh, no.
So everybody listen up. And here we go. This show has seen its fair share of mysteries. We had the epic Mystery of the Whodunit Ouchie Ouch Man, with its mind-blowing twist reveal. We've also encountered some that went unresolved, like the thief who left behind nothing but a caricature he sat for. Twisty conclusions, crimson red herrings, and emotionally charged dialogue. We are no stranger to narratives that keep us guessing. I mean, yeah, we do make a pretty cool show. With my love for dark thrillers and the Saw franchise, twists that resolve a fiery plot are some of my favorite literary devices. The little breadcrumbs laced throughout the story are so fun to pick up on during a second viewing. It's the sort of thing that blows your mind, but also feels so obvious once it's revealed.
I did not see that coming.
But with my neat and tidy way of being, there are those out there who are my opposite. The kind of people who don't need every question answered and all plot lines to intersect into one very coincidental uncovering. In fact, some of these people prefer their mysteries unsolved. The anarchist audience loves nothing more than to get right on the edge of release, and then saying the end, leaving a story wide open.
Aw, man.
Maybe they hate the truth. Maybe they're robots like my new friend ChatGPT. Whatever it is, people keep creating content without a resolution. It must be for someone, right? Today, I'm going to give you a very petty mystery that, as of today, is unsolved. So join me for this dramatic retelling. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery. The stresses of selling a house were weighing down on Amanda. Repairs, house shopping, and packing was a lot to ask a single mother living in Orange County, Florida. At the beginning of each day, she reminded herself that all of the hard work now would lead to a better home for her family. That brighter future was the light at the end of her tunnel. Amanda was able to check one thing off her list, however. After some time looking, she found the perfect house in a better location and for an affordable price. With no major obstacles, her application was accepted and she was under contract. As long as she could sell her house in 2 weeks, the house would be hers. It was a very stressful, yet slow-moving time in Amanda's life. Every day felt packed to the brim with phone calls and appointments. But most of her time was spent waiting for the one special home buyer to step into her home and sign her way into the next chapter. Due to this urgent need to sell the house, it had become very common to see new people around the home. Realtors, door measurers, toilet inspectors, floor testers, and so many other house-related professionals were in and out at a moment's notice, causing her phone to explode with video doorbell notifications.
Damn, Amanda, are you back on Tinder again? Your phone is vibrating more than me at a Trey Songz concert.
Linda shouted over the distracting phone sounds. Amanda rushed to the break room table, grabbing her phone and silencing it.
Sorry about that,
she said sheepishly.
I'm trying to sell this house and there are always people there. My realtor suggested turning off notifications for my doorbell, but I never listen. I'll do that now.
She scrolled through her apps list and found the setting to silence notifications from her doorbell.
That's better,
she said, setting her phone back down and looking up at her coworker. Immediately after locking eyes with Linda, her phone began to go off again.
Is that one Tinder?
Linda joked, shaking her head. Grabbing her phone again, Amanda replied,
It's just my son. He's letting me know that there are 5 men measuring my driveway. It's kind of odd. I don't remember my realtor saying anything about that. Maybe a guy with a boat is considering buying it and wants to know the driveway's dimensions.
Linda piped up.
Look, I'll cover for you. Run home and ask about the rich guy with the boat. And ask if he's single while you're at it.
Pulling into her driveway, Amanda was greeted by one of the men.
Howdy, ma'am. I just finished measuring your driveway and sent the estimate over to your landlord.
Completely confused, Amanda explained to the man that she was the homeowner and no one else controlled the property.
What?
The contractor went on to explain that he had been contacted by a man named Andre, stating he was the landlord, requesting an estimate for driveway replacement at her address. The two stood looking at each other, wondering which one was full of shit, until the contractor's phone began to ring.
Well, your landlord just accepted my estimate, but said there's no way he could ever give me the deposit in person,
the man said, showing his phone to Amanda.
This is my house,
Amanda reiterated. Believing Amanda, the contractor began typing on his phone.
I'm texting him back, asking for proof of ownership and a full payment. This ought to be good,
he said with a mischievous grin. The two shared a short chuckle before the contractor looked at his phone and stopped.
Well, he blocked my number. I guess that's that,
the man said.
This seems pretty shady. I'm going to blacklist his number. You can have it too. Feel free to take this to the police if you want. Now have a good night.
The next day, Amanda took the number to her local police department and filed a report. A short time later, she was contacted by an officer stating they had called Andre and he admitted to accidentally giving the wrong address.
Nothing else will happen again,
the officer stated, trying to calm down the shaken homeowner. A week went by. Potential buyers had showings, and the house still didn't sell.
This really sucks,
Amanda said to Linda, feeling defeated back at the break room table.
I don't want to lose the opportunity to get this house, but maybe nobody likes my home.
Linda looked at Amanda, sympathizing with her difficult house situation.
Why don't you just get out of here? She suggested. I'll cover your shift.
Tears welled up in Amanda's eyes.
Do you really mean that?
She asked, struggling to find the words.
Of course,
Linda responded.
I'm a fictional part of this story, so I might as well be totally unbelievable and keep covering your shifts all the time.
During her drive home, Amanda ruminated all she had overcome, navigating the challenging housing market in 2023 and dealing with whatever that Andre situation was. Despite the trials and tribulations, she always found good people along the way to support her, like the fictional Linda.
I can sell this house in 1 week,
Amanda yelled out to her car, cranking up her boss-ass bitch Spotify playlist. She fist-pumped and rocked to her empowering anthem.
I am invincible!
But the second she saw her home, she stopped dead in her tracks.
What the? How is this possible?
Amanda yelled in baffling amazement. Pulling up to the curb in front of her house, she stared in shock. What was once the location of her son's Power Wheels derbies and a gallery for summer chalk art was no more. Amanda's driveway had been stolen. She opened her video doorbell app and watched as a bulldozer tore out all of her driveway cement and drove away.
Got your driveway.
In less than 10 minutes, it was gone, without a trace. Walking along the destroyed path of rubble, formerly known as her driveway, Amanda called the police and reported the bizarre theft.
I guess when I said nothing else would happen again, I was wrong,
the officer from before embarrassingly admitted. After investigating the scene, he found no clues that would help identify the driveway disappearer.
You know, that Andre guy seemed a little suspicious. Let me give him a call and see if he knows anything about this,
the officer told Amanda. The cop went to his recently dialed list and gave Andre a call.
Do you know anything about the property you called for service having its driveway stolen? Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, if the mood's right. No. So did you do it or not? Okay, then thank you. Have a good night, too.
Drawing his attention back to Amanda, he reported his findings.
He said he didn't do it.
Did he give any information that may be helpful? Amanda asked.
He actually told me he had nothing to do with it and hung up. The rest of that was just me making you think I had control of the situation.
Amanda looked down and wiped the tears from her cheek.
I'm sorry. You know, this is such a weird occurrence that I'm sure the story could go viral and you could start a GoFundMe. All is not lost. If you can turn your tragedy into content for others, you can usually monetize it. This is America, after all.
In December of 2023, Amanda Brochu, a resident of Orange County, Florida, had her driveway stolen. A week before the incident, men were summoned by a suspected scammer using the name Andre to estimate a driveway replacement at her residence. The police were given the number associated with this incident, which they contacted and were informed it was a miscommunication of addresses. After the incident, Miss Brochu again provided information to the police, this time in the form of video doorbell footage showing a bulldozer ripping the concrete from her property and taking it away. When contacted by police again, Andre denied all involvement before hanging up. Amanda Brochu initiated a GoFundMe to raise the quoted $10,000 needed for a driveway replacement. The viral story attracted significant attention, leading to donations exceeding the target. Contributions totaled over $13,000, and a radio sponsor from Cox Media Group offered to install a new driveway for free. Amanda gratefully accepted the offer and planned to donate all the GoFundMe proceeds to a local nonprofit in coordination with 9 Family Connection. Following the viral articles mentioning Andre as a suspected scammer, public interest grew, prompting inquiries into the motives behind a driveway theft scam. An anonymous contractor who contacted WFTV9 News suggested that this incident might be linked to an overpayment scam. If anyone remembers the story my Amanda told about the overpayment scam she was a part of, this is essentially the same thing. Triple L Amanda was hired by an anonymous customer to take photos. They agreed to a price, a check with a sum of more than the agreed amount is sent, and the scammer requests the overpayment amount to be sent back to them before the check bounces. According to this anonymous contractor who went by Jeff, these overpayment scams are very common in the contractor trade. Scammers will look for recently listed houses and call often new contractors and request a new paint job or replacement of roof or driveway. Jeff believes that Andre either successfully scammed another contractor or was caught by one. This led to retaliation from the contractor who was scammed, assuming the address belonged to the scammer. The police attempted to reach Andre once more to inquire about other contractors he might have contacted. His response was simply the address to the Orlando airport. I know this story technically happened right at the end of 2023, but the article didn't go viral until 2024. All I'm saying is that if this is what we can look forward to for the future of criminal activity, I'm here for it. We had the bizarre occurrence of a driveway theft, a scam we are all familiar with, albeit usually on a smaller scale, and a happy ending where the stolen item gets replaced. Hell, even $13,000 gets donated to a charity. I'm just saying, if a perfect story ever existed, this could be the one. Even though I think Jeff completely nailed the situation that transpired, the contractors that stole the driveway have yet to be caught. And that's why we need your help. This could be the unsolved mystery that we finally crack as a podcast. So let's get out there and make Robert Stack proud. For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere who knows the truth. Perhaps that someone is listening. Perhaps it's you.
Oh my God. So, exactly. Let me make sure I'm fully comprehending the scam.
Okay.
So this Andre character pretends to be the homeowner and contacts a local contractor to come out and do some work on a house, right?
Yes, he sees that a house has recently been listed, so it wouldn't be suspicious for them to want to get some sort of repair done. So he says, this is my address. I want driveway replaced. In the story in real life, the contractor went and said it would be $7,200 for whatever he was asking for. He sent the estimate to Andre, and then what Andre was going to do was very similar to what they did to you. He was going to say,
I have a cashier's check.
Yeah, he was going to say, okay, sounds good. Give me an address. I can only ship it. I can't meet in person. And then that was just going to be that. And then what was going to happen next was that the contractor was going to get a check for way too much. He was going to say, oh, can you send me the rest back through Venmo or whatever? And then he's like, I'm good for it. And then hoping that he gets the money before.
Yep. That's exactly what happened to me.
This worked in the exact same way, but the first group of guys found out and were like, oh, this isn't right. But Andre must have tried this with multiple different contractors, and either he got one and he actually stole their money, or it was like, remember when you had got caught and you were like, oh, I just wanted to do this. And you were just thinking of like angry things you wanted to do to retaliate.
Yes.
Or this person just saw it was a scam and was tired of people going after, independent businesses. And then he just went and tore up all the driveway thinking that house actually belonged to the person.
Right. That's what I was trying to get at. Like, why did the driveway have to go after this then?
It was just hey, teach you a lesson. Don't try to scam me and get free work with a fake check.
And it wasn't that they had like laid a fresh new driveway when she was at work and then they tore it up. It was like her current driveway as it was, they tore it up.
It's literally just a big crater of dirt. Here, I'll show you. I think I have a photo here. This is what her driveway just became. Just a big dirt path.
Oh my God. Could you imagine you're trying to sell your home? You've already had some weird instances happen, and then you come home to that.
Yeah, and you're completely surprised by it, because that's what that contractor had said, is sometimes this scam goes wrong and homeowners do get caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that whatever your niche is, whatever the thing is you do, you know about these kind of ways that people scam you. But, not everybody knows about it. It's not a general public thing. Like, Emily gets the same thing with cookies as you had with photos. They would say, I want to get an order of cookies. Can I do this? And it's very well known through the cookie community. They did it to photographers like you. Then it's like, oh, people actually try to do that on a larger scale to contractors? That's nuts.
That is nuts.
So I'm sure everybody has their own version of it. And that just kind of blew my mind, like to be able to revisit that and see it on a different scale.
A larger scale where someone really had a whole part of their home dug up, basically. That's insane.
And it really is a tale of two criminals. One is a criminal you kind of know. It's Andre that you don't know is a scammer, but then the person that went and retaliated was just a business owner who was pissed, probably.
I know, which honestly, they really shouldn't have gone that far.
No.
That would almost be like, I was given a location that this birthday party weird thing I was going to photograph. That would almost be if I took it out on that business that I thought I was going to be doing that photo shoot at that didn't exist.
Yeah, who would get caught in that scam, realize they got scammed or are getting scammed, and think that they gave their own address.
I know, but people don't think it through and they get mad. And it kind of makes me feel like not only did they lose time, but maybe they lost money somehow with this person already, because to take it that far, yeah.
It's possible.
But damn, that was a really, really, really good story. And whoo, the connections, baby.
Oh, no. I'm glad. I'm not even going to play coy. Like, I'm so happy to see that we got a good connection coming.
Yeah, our crimes and everything are, different and whatever, but wow, the similarities are going to blow your mind.
Oh, I'm into it.
So I also have a story, and I would say that this is a personal story, but really I was only a bystander in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what to call this one. But
So you're doing a personal story?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I never told you.
So there's a connection right there. Both of our stories have Amandas in them.
That is definitely very true. So that is another connection. But yes, this is a personal story. This crime took place back when my husband and I first started dating. It was one that I had actually forgotten about until he brought it up the other day. And I had been telling you that I had a clear style in which I wanted to write something.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This story fit it like a glove.
Oh.
So here we go. Those that know me well understand that I love a good mystery. Although I am not technically a detective, I have played one during my murder mystery parties. And I've cracked many unsolved cases in my personal life over the years. I've interrogated ex-lovers until they've confessed their infidelity.
Spill the beans, cheater!
And sifted through bills until I discovered just how much my husband spends on Quick Trip snacks.
I'm signing you up for Taquitos Anonymous!
I've even been able to decipher which one of my animals took a dump in the house just by looking into their eyes. It isn't just my life's mysteries I've solved. I also have an extremely high success rate of determining the murderer on shows like Dateline in 2020.
Oh, come on! It's the husband!
Regardless of my professional qualifications, I just have a knack for these kinds of situations. Although, even I can overlook a clue or two. The mystery I will be telling you all today is about a petty crime that haunted me for months. One that wasn't so easily unraveled. So take notes, grab a magnifying glass, and see if you can solve the pettiest whodunit in history. It was a cold and dreary March day in 2013 when a 20-year-old Jordan drove into the entrance of his neighborhood in Emporia, Kansas. Technically, it was more of a park, a trailer park. It was a compact and modest community of mobile homes placed atop a gravel base. Sandwiched between two disintegrating apartment buildings and nestled behind a popular local Chinese restaurant, the location was bittersweet. It was bitter because of the depressing surroundings, yet sweet due to the smell of General Tso chicken in the air. This would not have been Jordan's first choice in places to live. However, his family already owned a trailer at the park and had passed it down from generation to generation.
It's all yours, big guy.
Now it was his turn to reside in the old tin home while he saved his money and figured out his next phase in life. Jordan was returning back home from crashing at his hot girlfriend's apartment the night before. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary as he pulled into the parking lot. Random children were kicking rocks in the street. His neighbors greeted him with expressionless faces, and the green dumpster was filled with trash and a large pack of adorable, yet tattered, dumpster kitties. It wasn't until Jordan parked next to his trailer that he realized something was wrong. His front door had been kicked in, causing him to run inside and assess the damage done. The entire trailer had been ransacked and torn through, as if the perpetrator had twirled around his place with a leaf blower. Normally an insecurity, Jordan was lucky in this instance that he didn't own many valuables. But he had one item that was of great value to him: his Xbox. Suddenly terrified, Jordan turned dramatically towards his entertainment center and looked down where his Xbox usually sat. There he saw an empty space. Jordan's mind immediately started filtering through possible suspects to this awful act of theft. There was Corinne, the cat lady, who lived diagonally across the street from him. She was a woman who appeared to be in her hard 50s and always wore a robe, tights, and slippers outside. Anytime there was drama in the park, Corinne would be there, not necessarily starting the drama, but definitely relishing in it. Plus, she had always complained when Jordan threw parties with his music at full volume. Yet she also had a soft side. Corinne was often spotted feeding and naming the dumpster kitties.
I'll name you Strudel.
This led him to consider the greasy and sleazy Danny, who lived straight across from him. He was newer to the area and appeared to be in his upper 20s. He had medium-length dark hair and usually wore a white tank top and jeans. He seemed nice enough, giving out a smile to all his neighbors, but the man's crooked teeth would make anyone tempted to pay for his dental work. Finally, there were Jordan's next-door neighbors, the Thompsons. He was amazed by just how many family members were able to fit inside their small mobile home. He honestly had no idea how many children belonged to the family. 9, maybe 10? He often saw the Thompson kids out in the street, destroying something, or running amok while their single mother was at work.
We're feral children.
The sheer number of unsupervised children in that family would make anyone suspicious. Motive for the crime was easy for Jordan. Who wouldn't want an Xbox? But the more he thought about it, the less he could envision Corinne, the cat lady, using a video game controller. She wasn't completely ruled out, but Danny and the Thompson kids were moved to the top of his suspect list. Jordan had heard the Thompson kids talking about wanting to play Fortnite weeks before, but wondered if they had their own gaming system already. Jordan also reflected back to an odd encounter he had with Danny just days before the theft. Danny had walked over to Jordan's trailer and knocked hard on the front door.
Hey, man.
Danny said, just as the door had barely opened.
Can I come in and hang for a while?
Jordan stood there confused. The two of them had never hung out before. Plus, Jordan was much more interested in hanging out with his hot girlfriend.
Sorry, man, but I'm heading out.
Jordan said, starting to shut the door behind himself. But as the door closed, he saw Danny lean over, trying to get a better peek inside. This eerie exchange stuck with Jordan. But did it really mean the guy came back and took his Xbox? Confronting Danny seemed to be the best first step, since he was the only other adult. This led Jordan to cross the gravel patch over to Danny's trailer. He knocked on the dirty front door, only to be greeted by a surprised and tired Danny.
Whoa, hey, bro. What's the dealio? Come on in.
Danny said, immediately inviting him to enter his place. Jordan stepped inside the unorganized trailer and began to look around for possible evidence. Instead, he just saw a bunch of crap. Jordan got straight to the point.
Yeah, my trailer was broken into last night. Do you know anything about that?
Danny scoffed before saying,
No way, dude. I didn't see anyone over there.
Jordan didn't know what to believe of Danny's innocence, but without any proof, witnesses, or a confession, he had nothing on the guy. Jordan had also questioned a couple of the older Thompson kids, but only received snarky comments in return.
Whatever, Mr. Poop.
For the next few months, the Xbox theft went unresolved. It puzzled Jordan, as he thought he must have missed something. As time passed, it almost felt unreal to him. for closure and comic relief, he would occasionally envision the dumpster kitties being the actual culprits, wearing kitty ninja costumes and rappelling in through the trailer's roof. Eventually, Jordan became preoccupied with his upcoming move with his hot girlfriend to Kansas City. They had recently gotten a puppy named Reptar and had hunted for the perfect apartment to move into. It was finally time for Jordan to say goodbye to the ran-down trailer he had once called home. He turned back to look at the old place, waved at the dumpster kitties, and left without a single tear shed. He wouldn't miss the trailer, but what he would miss was his sweet, sweet Xbox. Jordan didn't have to live an Xbox-free life for long, as his hot girlfriend's brother ended up giving him his unused one. Quickly after, Jordan set up his new system, excited to log into Netflix after a long break away from the streaming service. Logging into his account, he immediately noticed a few changes had been made. The icons were all different, and a new name was listed instead of Jordan's.
Hey, Amanda, come here quick!
He shouted for his hot girlfriend as he stared at the screen.
What is it, babe?
Amanda asked, making her way into the room and also looking at the Netflix accounts.
Looks like I finally found out who broke into my place and stole my Xbox.
Jordan said, with a slight chuckle. Amanda read the main account and shook her head in disgust.
Fuck you, Danny.
Yes, it turns out that not only am I an amateur detective, but I was also once a hot girlfriend. And it's true that it was the slimy creep across the block from Jordan that robbed him the entire time. As soon as we discovered the changes, Jordan took back his accounts and changed his passwords. Yet, no amount of security measures could ever bring back his original Xbox. In the end, this is another petty case closed by some solid detective work and a bit of technological tracking. One thing it did teach me is that if it isn't the husband, the sleazy neighbor is a good second bet.
Well, by God, I want to talk about your story, but the connections.
Oh, I know. Let's start with connections. I'm totally okay with that. We were both going down the mystery route, both talked about single mothers.
I mean, if you want to go small, you talked about cranking the music. At one point, I had my Amanda crank the music.
We both had Amanda's. Because I kind of wrote myself as a character. We also both had things done to people's homes.
Yes.
The list truly goes on and on and on. And guys, when we tell you that we do not speak about our crimes, we just tell each other the name of the victim or perpetrator or whatever, just to make sure. And I didn't even tell you I was doing a personal story before this. So totally random, totally bizarre. We were both in the mystery zone, but this is actually all a true story. I didn't say this beforehand. I wanted to say this. I made up all of the neighbors' names. Even Danny, both of us cannot remember what his actual name was, okay? We cannot remember for the life of us.
I figured that'd be the one you would remember.
No. I don't even know if it was Danny, but that just felt right to me, so maybe it was. I do remember when we moved to Kansas City and we plugged in the new Xbox and found out that, sure enough, this guy had not only created an account for him, but there were like a bunch of children accounts too. I didn't put that on there just because in the story I didn't talk about him having kids and blah, blah, blah. But the details of his neighbors, all true. The details of his horrible living conditions when he lived in that crappy little trailer, all true. I just kind of beefed up his interactions with the other characters more to make it
more like a detective's tale.
Yes, just because I wanted to write it in like a murder mystery style, except for minus the murder.
Are you a fan of The Big Lebowski?
I have never seen it.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh, well, you're going to get some hate now.
I am.
That movie is kind of like a Jordan type person, being a detective. It's not literally a detective story, but it feels like a detective story because of like them trying to figure out answers and stuff.
Okay.
You should really watch it. Emily and I watched it probably a couple months ago.
Oh my God. It's a classic. I know. I've never watched it. I need to.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But yeah, it was just so funny. We, had recently traveled and we were talking about, I don't even know what made it come back up, but he was like, yeah, remember when my trailer got broken into? I even confronted the guy. He tried to convince me I had nothing on him. And then it turns out it was him. And I was like, oh my God, how did I forget about this? I will say, too, the dumpster kitties were a very real part of the story. And don't worry, guys, lots of people actually fed them. They would never come near you. It was never like, oh, cute little kitties, you should have taken them in and loved on them. No, they would not let you take them in.
Oh, so very feral then.
Very feral. The dumpster was their home. They were so cute, but like some of them were missing eyeballs, like some of them had missing hair, but they were so cute. And a lot of people fed them and stuff. I remember one time a couple of Jordan's friends that they bought a big old bag of kitty food and just poured it all over Jordan's new car. And it was just covered in dumpster kitties one morning and just little kitty footprints all over his
So it was a prank on him. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you just meant that was the best place they thought of feeding the cats.
No.
And I thought, not a great decision.
Wasn't good. No, they were pranking Jordan. They were like, haha, now the dumpster kitties will never leave your house. And they're such little shits.
If somebody did it to me, I would just call and I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to watch these cats eat. It's the same as when you're on the couch and you don't want to get up because your animal's on you. Like,
I know.
they're on my car. I'm not going to work.
I know. What are you to do? But it was an interesting time. I had to go back in time and man, that Chinese food over by there was 10 out of 10.
Oh my God. Every New Year's on New Year's Day, I always get Chinese.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you start your year off on the right foot with the right thing,
yes,
everything will follow. It doesn't always work that way, but I still like doing it.
Uh-huh.
We ordered some and I forgot that the place right next to our house gives a comical amount of food. And she was like, I'm done. And I'm like, you can't be done. So last week, every single day I had Chinese for breakfast.
Oh my God.
One of the days I had Chinese for dinner, and I think I fit in for lunch once too.
Holy hell. We had Chinese this week as well.
Hell yeah.
It's just a good thing to have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even have to jump into connections, guys. The connections were off the chart this week.
I do like that yours was framed more as a whodunit, and mine was more of just like an unsolved mysteries.
Yeah.
Sort of like it's questionable. We don't know what happened, but it's not so much framed in that same way. And I do like that we at least tackled two subgenres of the mystery.
Yes, me too. And we both said the word whodunit.
Yeah.
That was another freaking connection. I just couldn't even believe.
Yeah, mine starts with, we've had a fair share of mysteries, and I didn't know that I was about to get another.
Seriously. And I didn't know that I was about to be like, mine is the most pettiest whodunit in history. Just totally
Right after hearing mine, how
pushing
rude.
yours into the shadows. That was not my intention. Well, I hope that everyone is having the best week. And just remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to solve a mystery or two.
Bye.
See ya.
It's the end. It's the end. Thanks for listening to our show.
And follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or Threads. You got to see a picture of the stolen driveway. Live, laugh, larceny.
And I'm looking to write even more personal stories from our listeners. So send us your petty crime stories. livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And give us a star for every connection we made today. Pat on the back. Give us 5 stars wherever you rate podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.
I have this random... Okay, I'm just pulling it out of that. Because I don't want to have a rat tail. I don't want to have a rat tail.
Rat tail, rat tail, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat tail.
Oh my God.